No marriage is perfect, right? But for high-profile couples, is it harder to hide the imperfections? Take JD and Usha Vance, for example. They've worked hard to project this image of the ideal traditional American couple, but behind the scenes, there are some major red flags in their relationship. Matchmaker and CEO of Exclusive Matchmaking, Susan Trombetti, believes JD and Usha could face trouble on several fronts, from their wildly different upbringings to the intense political spotlight that comes with the vice presidency. So, let's break this down. First off, JD and Usha come from completely different backgrounds. They met at Yale Law School in 2013 and tied the knot the next year.
We were friends first because, who wouldn't want to be friends with JD? He was then, as now, the most interesting person I knew.
JD has built his political image around outspoken, anti-woke rhetoric, while Usha was working at a progressive law firm in San Francisco. She only left that job when JD was chosen as Trump's VP pick. JD's upbringing, however, was far from easy. He grew up in the Rust Belt of Ohio, in a home that was anything but stable. Raised mostly by his grandmother, JD had to navigate life with a mother who struggled with substance abuse. His memoir, Hillbilly Elegy, tells the tough story of those years.
It occurred to me that there are things happening in our community, from the addiction crisis to family breakdown to also the economic problems that exist in the community. And
on the flip side, Usha had a very different upbringing. She was raised in a loving Hindu household, surrounded by a strong sense of tradition and family.
I grew up in San Diego, in a middle-class community. With two loving parents, both immigrants from India.
So, their contrasting experiences could either be a strength or a challenge in their relationship, requiring a lot of emotional work to bridge those gaps.
That JD and I could meet at all, let alone fall in love and marry, is a testament to this great country.
The expert says love can bridge a lot of divides, but the vast gulf between JD and Usha's lived experience could be alienating if not handled with care. And that's a crucial point. Can love overcome such deep-rooted differences? Speaking of deep-rooted issues, JD's childhood trauma might be another challenge for their marriage. Conflict resolution is key to any healthy relationship, and JD's background seems to have left some emotional scars.
I wondered if you had really dealt with everything.
that's a really good question. I've never been asked this. I think that the honest answer is that I probably haven't dealt with everything.
He's been very open about the lasting effects of his upbringing, including struggles with anger management. He admitted in his memoir that even at his best, he's a delayed explosion. And it's Usha who's had to manage his emotional outbursts. Trombetti says, that cannot be good for a marriage. What does she do? Lock herself in the bathroom to navigate it? JD's anger issues are certainly something to watch, but it doesn't seem right that Usha should always be the one to manage that side of him, especially when it can lead to an imbalance in their relationship. Trombetti points out that JD's unresolved issues could make the dynamic feel more like Usha being the mom and JD acting like the toddler with tantrums. That's definitely not the healthiest model for a marriage. Now let's talk about fatherhood. JD and Usha have 3 kids, sons Ewan and Vivek, and daughter Mirabelle. But JD doesn't always come across as the most involved dad. In fact, he's been known to refer to their children as her kids rather than our kids. Trombetti calls this out, saying, they have equal ownership of the children, so where are his vested feelings?
You know, she's got 3 kids. Obviously, I help with the kids.
Body language expert Dr. Jack Brown also noticed some distancing behaviors when JD referred to his children. When he said, my wife has 3 children, he didn't mention his kids by name or even acknowledge himself as their father. Red flags, right? And let's not forget JD's awkward comment at a campaign rally in October 2024, where he joked about trading his kids for a couple of weeks. That probably didn't sit well with Usha, and it adds extra pressure to their already complicated relationship. Another concerning aspect of their relationship is JD's approach to religion. JD admitted in an interview that he feels bad about bringing Usha to church every week because she didn't sign up to marry a weekly churchgoer.
I feel terrible for my wife because we go to church almost every Sunday unless we're on the road.
And does she go with you? I mean,
she does. Yeah, she does.
Has she converted?
No, she hasn't. No, that's why I feel bad about it. Is
while Usha supports his spiritual journey, it's clear that this might be adding stress to their relationship, with Usha often feeling the burden of keeping the kids quiet during services.
But because I'm kind of the one going to church, she feels like more responsibility to keep the kids quiet in the church. And I felt kind of bad, like, oh, you didn't sign up to marry a weekly churchgoer.
When it comes to protecting Usha, JD's response has raised some eyebrows. He addressed the white supremacist attacks directed at her because of her Indian heritage, but instead of strongly condemning the attacks, he focused more on expressing his love and admiration for Usha and highlighting her qualities. His response didn't sit well with many on social media, who called it weird and pathetic. They questioned why he didn't take a stronger stand to defend his wife against the attacks.
I love my wife. I'm very proud of her. I'm extremely lucky to have met her and to have gotten the chance to build a life with her. And my attitude on this is if people want to attack me, attack my policy views, they're welcome to. I signed up for it. My wife didn't sign up for it, and by the way, she's way out of their league, the people who are attacking her.
Finally, JD's political ambitions could put even more strain on their relationship. As vice president, JD will have to constantly present a united front with Trump, no matter the circumstances. Usha, on the other hand, was a registered Democrat until 2014, the same year she married JD. While she's kept her political views private, it's hard to imagine that she agrees with everything Trump's administration stands for. If their political differences do cause friction, it could create even more tension in their already complicated dynamic.
When you started dating JD, y'all met in law school, did you ever think that you would be here today, that this is where your path would take the two of you?
Oh, no way. That really wasn't on my mind at the time.
The pressure's definitely on for JD and Usha, but no marriage is perfect, right? And JD Vance's mentor Donald Trump knows that for sure. After all, Trump has been through his own marriage struggles. So if you think JD and Usha's marriage has its challenges, let's rewind and take a look at Trump's past. Actually, Trump's 3 marriages have always been accompanied by controversy. And here's a juicy bit. He actually cheated on his first wife with the woman who would later become his second wife. And guess what? The boomerang effect hit hard. She allegedly cheated on him right back. Now, let's take a closer look back at this scandalous chapter in Trump's life. Donald met Ivana, née Ivana Zelnichkova, in 1976.
Lady Trump, I was first wife. Okay. I don't know what is Melania's problem. She just has to get over it.
She ended up in New York City for a modeling gig, and during a dinner with other models, Donald swooped in. He secured the group the best table in the place and joined them. Smooth move, right?
And I turned to my girlfriend and said, I have a good news and bad news. What is the good news? You're going to get a table real fast. What is the bad news? This fellow behind me is going to go and sit with us.
By Christmas, Donald asked her to go on vacation. They went to Aspen and had the most romantic time together. On New Year's Eve, Donald told her, "If you don't marry me, you'll ruin your life." Now that's the Trump we know. And despite having known each other for only a few months, Ivana agreed to marry him.
Donald always had a great head on his shoulder, and I saw the potential.
They tied the knot on April 9th, 1977 in New York City. And during their honeymoon in Mexico, Ivana became pregnant with their first child. On December 31, 1977, their son Donald Jr. was born. The couple went on to welcome 2 more children, Ivanka in 1981 and Eric in 1984. A picture-perfect marriage, right? But wait.
He did not know how to speak to them in the children way of thinking. So he was able to speak to them only when they came from university, when eventually was able to speak business with them.
Yeah.
You know, but otherwise he really did not know how to handle the kids.
Donald and Ivana weren't just partners in marriage, but also in business.
And I was chief executive officer, and casino really did very well. It was the most profitable hotel casino in the United States.
However, their seemingly perfect marriage hit the rocks in 1989 when Ivana discovered Donald's affair with model Marla Maples.
Did you see warning signs?
I really didn't.
I really didn't.
It all happened during the family's annual holiday trip to Aspen. Ivana ran into Maples outside a restaurant, with patrons and the rest of the family watching. Ivana wrote, "This young blonde woman approached me out of the blue and said, 'I'm Marla, and I love your husband. Do you?' I said, 'Get lost. I love my husband.' It was unladylike, but I was in shock."
We were actually standing near the restaurant, getting ready to put skis on. And I was standing there like an idiot. And Marla and Ivana were here. And there wasn't shouting, but you could obviously see there was some friction.
Turns out this affair had been going on for years.
Do you think unless the two had actually come face to face, you would have confronted that situation?
Well, it's interesting because it's possible that, maybe it would still be going on. I'm not sure.
The affair made headlines, and in March 1990, Ivana officially filed for divorce, resigning from the Trump Organization a few months later.
In my case, it was just so clear, and the trust was broken so badly that I knew that it was just no way it could be patched.
Maples and Donald continued to date on and off, and in 1993, she became pregnant with their first child. Their daughter Tiffany was born on October 13, which Maples later called the greatest unplanned surprise of all. Despite Donald previously saying he had no plans to get married again, the couple decided to tie the knot shortly after Tiffany's birth, on December 20th, 1993.
We really anticipated getting married and having a baby, not having a baby and getting married.
So why didn't you marry her right away when you found out she was pregnant? Why did you wait?
Indecision.
The pair remained married for 3 years before separating in May 1997. Maples later explained the split, saying that they differed on how they viewed the world and how they wanted to raise their child.
So I think you always hope in a marriage that you can bring out the best in each other. But after many years, we realized we weren't.
However, rumors swirl that the real cause was Maples cheating on Trump with his bodyguard, who was caught with her on a deserted beach. Probably not just having a late-night stroll. But Maples have always denied the affair, of course. But it's not all bad blood. Despite their rocky past, Donald and Marla managed to mend fences. In a 2013 Oprah interview, Marla revealed, "I still love Donald. I love Eric, Ivanka, and Donnie so much." They even managed to share an Easter celebration in April 2023. Who knew divorce could come with a side of friendly get-togethers?
He's the father of my child. I do not want to ever speak negative about it. But do we agree on everything? Absolutely not. We would be married if we still agreed on everything.
But Ivana, who passed away in 2022, clearly wasn't ready to forgive and forget.
I don't want to talk about her. She's a showgirl, never achieved anything in her life.
In her 2017 memoir, Raising Trump, she didn't hold back, saying, "She actively participated in humiliating me in the media and indirectly put my kids at risk for months. I went through hell, and then I was expected to be okay with her being around my children?" Ivana's words reflected the deep hurt and betrayal she felt, a pain that her friends believe she never fully overcame. Well, who could blame Ivana?
He's free at the moment, isn't he? He's single.
Yes, he is.
Would you not like to get back together with him?
Nope.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, you would like to get back?
Nope.
So, with all this scandal and drama, who do you think was the true love of Trump's life? Let's discuss in the comments.